Rob. It is I, the great and glorious FooTube.
Oh, hi, FooTube.
I noticed you're recording a video on gaming handhelds.
Yeah, yes I am.
Gee, I hope you don't break any of our rules.
What rules?
Oh, we have rules, but I'm not going to tell you what they are. Just don't break them.
You don't want me to break the rules, but you won't tell me what the rules are?
That's right. Don't break the rules, Rob. But I'm not going to tell you what they are.
Well, you dirty. Well, hello there, real gamers. Retro Rob here, and welcome to Retro Rob Plays Everything. Today we're going to take a look at the Miyoo Mini V4. The Miyoo Mini V4 as presented by MechDIY. If you recall, I covered the Miyoo Mini Plus a while back and thought very highly of it. I've got some fairly high hopes for this because I've seen one of these before. One of my friends bought one, and I thought it was pretty darn impressive. Especially for the size. I'm kind of hoping this will be my new go-to pocket game system. Yeah, that's what it is. It's a pocket game system. Let's take a look at the specs. And here we are on MechDIY's website with the Surwish Miyoo Mini V4 with Onion OS. As you can see, it comes in several colors. I got the blue one, by the way. I think I really like this white one, too. The yellow one's cool, but it doesn't have the multicolored buttons. See that? The white one the white one's pretty cool. I should have gotten white. But anyway, it comes in multiple colors. You can get it with a 128 gig card that has about, I think they say 10,000 games on it. Or the 256 that adds another 100 games, but they're more of the high-end games that take up more space. So just a note on what the difference between the two cards is. I'm going to ruin the illusion that I record this stuff in order and tell you that I'm pretty sure that the SanDisk they give you is the real thing. I go through a lot of fake TF cards. I mean, they're real TF cards, but ones that are trying to pretend to be something they're not. And this one ticks all the boxes. It appears to be the real thing, at least the one I got. And I show you it later on in this video. Rolling down, here's some of the features of the OS, and the search works pretty darn good. I like that search. Most of the other stuff's pretty standard stuff. I always like the ports collection. I don't know why. You buy these emulation handhelds and you play the ports, but that's me. It's just how I roll. And here's a little bit about the 256 gig Surwish Onion SD card. And the size. The Miyoo Mini V4 is designed to fit comfortably in your palm. And it is notably smaller even than the Miyoo Mini Plus. Making it the perfect companion for gaming on the go. I'm going to say that it plays like first-person shooters better than I thought. Like, holding it, I don't know why, but even with my big hands, it seems that the placement's a little bit better than the Miyoo Mini Plus even for playing like Doom. Don't know why. You tell me. Anyway, IPS display. I've been doing a lot of OLEDs lately. I bought the OLED Switch. I bought the OLED Steam Deck. And I have to say, the screen still looks good to me. So, not too bad. Let me know what you think of it. Remember, this is the V4, so they apparently changed the screen again. Let me know if I'm wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure they changed the screen again from the V3. This is equipped with a 1.2 gigahertz Cortex-A7 processor. I believe that's a 2-core. The Miyoo Mini V4 provides smooth and efficient gameplay. It's efficient. What's efficient mean? Long-lasting battery life, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, handles mainstream classic games effortlessly, ensuring a lag-free gaming experience. For the most part, that appears to be true. a bit about the design. It does have an audio port on it for headphones, which I find really nice. TF card slots at the bottom, which is fine. It's not in a spot where your fingers hit it. Anything else that I want to say about that? I'm going to mention this several times, that the USB-C port, it is charge only. It's not a connector to your computer. It comes with a USB adapter, so you can pop the TF card in your computer, and I can confirm I can see it on both Windows and Mac. So I'm guessing it's, well, it's fat. It's a fat of some kind. I didn't check, but it's either exFAT or 32 or 16. Could be. It's not gonna be 16. Is the capacity. All right. Anyway, 2,000 mega. 2,000 milliamp battery. What is wrong with me? The Miyoo Mini V4 supports up to 5 to 6 hours of continuous gameplay. That definitely depends on what you're playing. I found it to be, well, I can definitely get 5 out of it. I can't say I've ever gotten 6, but I can definitely say I get 5 out of it, and generally 3 to 4. And here's what's included in the box, and I'll go into the box right after this, honestly. And there we go. Oh yeah, dual core. There we go, 1.2 gigahertz. And nothing else, I think, to see here other than some other videos. And I'll put a link to this website down below. All right, let's get it out of the box. All right, here we go. This is the Miyoo Mini. It just came in a bag, by the way. It was shipped in a shipping bag and came like this. So, number one, I am going to say I do like this container quite a bit. Look at that. Come on, that's cute. All right. Open her up, see what we get inside. Okay, we got a manual. Yet again, as is par for the course with the guys over at MechDIY, we've got a 128 gig SanDisk SD card. I believe it's real. I have a bunch of fake ones, so I know what they look like. I'm pretty sure this is a real one, so that's nice. I should just ask them. Anyway. Cable for charging. USB adapter. And of course, here is the device itself. Got a D-pad, A, B, X, Y. We of course have these. The bumpers on the back, bumpers and triggers. I mean, they're all bumpers really, but bumpers and triggers. Start, select. Got a menu button. And on the bottom, you got the slot for SD. You got USB-C. You got a headphone jack. I believe that's all the ports. You do, however, have the sliding volume controller. A volume control. What do they call this? It's a knob, right? But it's, I gotta look up what that's actually called. But anyway, it is a knob of sorts. And I'm glad that they got that. That's the way I like volume controls to be. It's so little. Hold on a second. There we go. There's a Miyoo Mini Plus. And here's the Miyoo Mini. I guess it's version 4. Of course, you got the power button here and the power light right up on the top. And I should probably turn this back off because I haven't put the SD card in yet. Or TF card. Somebody's going to correct me. There we go. All right. So I am going to pop the TF card in the bottom. And I'm going to test this out for a little bit and see how it goes. Oh, it did stay on. Come on, you. Power off. There we go. All right. Be back. And here we are at the main menu of the Miyoo Mini. This is, of course, Onion OS, if you don't recognize it at all. You got recents, you got your favorites. Self-explanatory. Here's the games section. There is a whole lot of different consoles and computers emulated here. Generally speaking, there is a lot of games on each one. Got like 50 games for the 2600. You've got, let's see, here's a good one. So like Genesis, you got 279 games. Very often you'll get the covers and a graphic for each one, but not for everything. Got Nintendo DS, that's notable. Got the Pico 8, that's notable. It's got a few games on it. This is that weird, it's not weird, but it's the emulator that doesn't work online. That said, what's it matter? Because this, of course, has no Wi-Fi, so you don't really have to worry about it. Here's a bunch of different ports. I'll show you some of those later. Got TurboGrafx 16, 32X, there's a bunch. You know, some of these, like, you know, there's only like 25 on. But most of them are in the 100. Well, I shouldn't say most of them, but the ones that have a lot of games for them are in the hundreds. You got Virtual Boy, you got Vectrex. Both these run fairly well. The Vectrex is a little weird, but it's not bad. It's pretty good. I'll show you that later because all that stuff's public domain now. Hooray. I got some interesting choices on here, you know? Oh, wait. There's MSX. 121. That's not too bad. That's pretty respectable. Got expert mode. And this is the less friendly interface for each one of these. But I appreciate them having it. You can turn this off, by the way, as a setting. If you don't want that expert mode to be there at all. If you don't want anybody to see it. Apps. Got the File Explorer. It's Dingex Commander, which is basically the Midnight Commander. It's a fairly standard File Explorer. Video player. I think this is a remake of FM Play, isn't it? FF Play. PDF reader. I don't know why there's a game streaming system in here. Again, does not have Wi-Fi. So why have game streaming? I guess you could plug a USB adapter in for Wi-Fi. Do it that way. There's a guide. Package manager. This is actually useful. If you want to turn off one of the emulators because for some reason you don't want to see it. So you can go through there. There's me. Got an ebook reader. I don't know why. Are those popular in China or something? You can track your gaming history. Launch a random game. I've never found much use for that. You got the RetroArch settings. Quite useful. Screen recorder. You've got a search function, which is actually quite useful and works fairly well. You got a theme changer. There's a bunch of themes on here. In fact, this theme is not the default theme that I'm using. It's quite useful. Bunch of system tweaks. Go in here if there's like a setting that you want to change and you're not sure where it is in the different menus. You got like emulator tweaks. Setting resets, that's useful in case you get yourself in trouble. It won't reinstall ROMs or anything though. And there's a tool section for cleaning. That's useful too, I find. And let's go back a little bit more. Again, just giving you an overview. So here's settings. Notice again, there's like no Wi-Fi settings because there's no Wi-Fi. But you can turn the brightness down if you want to save battery. Pretty useful. And back to recents. There we go. All right, let's test some stuff out on here. The Nintendo DS works really pretty well on this. I'm kind of surprised. There are slowdowns, as is expected with any kind of high-end emulation from one of these small devices, but it does do better than I would have expected. Of course, the games are curated, so they run fairly decent on here. There's slowdowns from point to point. And the funny thing with DS emulation is it's always hard to tell whether it's a problem with the emulator or the game itself slowed down because the DS was prone to slowdowns when doing things in 3D anyway. This is the Snowman, by the way, by Checkpoint. And I've got a link to it down below. This is a demo scene game, but you know, as I mentioned, you can load your own stuff on here. This button right back here will flip screens. It works really well, and it's surprisingly not very distracting when you're playing. Pretty cool. This is Little Medusa for the Super Nintendo. I played quite a bit of Super Nintendo, and by the way, this is the demo version, which you can download directly from MegaCat Studios if you'd like. And I will say the Super Nintendo generally works pretty darn well on this game system. I will also say that specifically, games that rhyme with Mooper Mash Me and Modal Marnage work really well because the buttons are mapped properly, this being fire up, down, right, and left. Do with that information what you will. This is the F1 demo from the Yaro's demo disc. I believe it's a 2012 demo disc, and I think it's interesting that this kind of thing runs on the emulator. I would say that PS1 emulation on this is actually really good, and I think it's due to the use of GHD files. Just everything seems really smooth, and again, I'm guessing it's because they picked their format. That said, this demo is a bin /Q format, and it works just fine. No issues. But again, the stuff that's on there, not one bin Q file, just all CHDs. Oh, I suck. Anyway, there's about like, I don't know, like over 30 games on the Yaru's demo disc. So it's kind of worth checking out if you kind of like the demo scene or the indie game scene, homebrew, whatever you want to call it. There's some cool stuff in there. God, I wish I played better. Let's go on. All right, here we are with Graveyard Dude Demo. This is for the NES, of course. And I'm going to just start the game. It's a simple little puzzler. I'll put a link to it down below if you're interested in picking up a copy or just getting the demo. That was a very easy level. There we go. I gotta remember how to do this. Let's see. All right. There we go. Yeah, my mama didn't raise any dummies. We just kind of turned out that way. Anyway, what I wanted to show you is that on console games, if I just hit this button right here, it will save my spot. Then I can play something else, and then I can come back and I can play right where I left off, which is nice, you know. But also, if I hit this button, the menu, let's call it the menu button or the action button, and start, I can change the aspect ratio if you don't like the aspect ratio. And then if I want to get to the menu, I do like that. And then I can restart the game from the beginning if I'd like. Pretty cool. That works with the console games, not necessarily with the arcade games though, I'm afraid. This is Vecchi Bird on the Vectrex. Believe it or not, there was actually a Flappy Bird game jam that this was made for. Can you believe that? Anyway, some things I wanted to show you on the Vectrex is you can change the screen ratio by hitting this guy here and this guy here. The problem is if the game has an overlay, the overlay doesn't stretch with it, and I have not found a place in the settings that actually changes that. There's gonna be some people wondering why I didn't show a Vectrex game, because rumor is it's in the public domain. That's not actually true. The rights are still owned by a copyright owner. They have not been enforcing it, that is true, but I just don't want to get caught when they decide to start enforcing it. I don't think they will, honestly, but again, just hedging my bets. Plus, I mean, it's freaking Flappy Bird on the Vectrex. That's genius. Can it run Doom? Well, yes, it can. Like a champ. You can even strafe. Look at that. That's pretty nice. Can't see what I'm doing. I'm gonna run into walls. It should be entertaining. Anyway, it absolutely can run Doom. By the way, this is the shareware level of Doom. I will say that there are a lot of first-person shooters on this game system, and They are, I'm not kidding, like there's an excess of 10. And they're all configured to run really well with it, which is pretty cool, honestly. If you'd have told 20-year-old me that I'd be running Doom on a, I'd be running Doom on a handheld, I'd have said you're crazy. But here we are. Yeah, I'm still old-fashioned enough to love Cave Story. And it runs great on here, as to be expected. You know, there were a couple of commercial releases of this game, but believe it or not, the original release was free to play. And it's nice to see it here. You know, I gotta say, this is one of the very few side-scrolling platformers that are kind of like an RPG that I actually got into. This game's fun as heck. Highly recommend playing it. And of course, it comes on the system, so why not try it out if you haven't yet? And that wraps it for the Miyoo Mini V4 as presented by MechDIY. Of course, the MechDIY version comes with the SanDisk SD card loaded with games. I mean, they all come loaded with games, but this one is a pre-selected group to ensure compatibility. I found the compatibility was about probably high 90s, probably about 95 to 98%. I did find some notable games that did not run out of the box, specifically Jumping Flash, which is one of my favorite games on the PS1, did not run, which made me kind of sad. However, that said, most games did work and work really well, and the buttons were pre-configured correctly, which doesn't always happen with these. So that's a nice extra to have from them. Construction-wise, I absolutely love the construction of it. I think the screen looks amazing on this. Oh, now I've done it. No, I should exit. I gotta talk. Hold on. Exit. There we go. Okay, anyway. I think the screen looks absolutely excellent. The volume's loud enough. It does break up at high levels, but the bass is actually pretty good, you know? It sounds pretty good. The buttons are competent. The D-pad is actually really nice. I still can't get used to having nice D-pads on these things. But anyway, these buttons here are not rubbery. They're plastic, just so you know. It has a volume control knob as opposed to buttons. I prefer the knob, so that's a big deal. I wish very much that this had Wi-Fi. It would have been a good inclusion on the V4 version, which previous versions didn't have, because it would be easier to get new games on here. That said, it wasn't too bad. You just pop out the TF card. Ooh, sorry. You just pop out the TF card and you put it into your PC and it will read it. Or Mac, by the way. Either one will read it just fine. You can drop new games on it. So that works really well. Love the fact that the battery's swappable. Note that this is a charging port only. This guy right down here. Charging port only. You cannot use it to connect to your computer. It'll just charge. That's all it will do, I'm afraid. But all in all, I really love the form factor of this. It's really fun to play games. I was surprised at how well games like Doom ran on this. Or not, I wasn't surprised that they ran well. I was surprised that they played well with the controls given. It was just fun to play. So yeah, really good little device. I will put a link to it down below at MechDIY's website. I want to thank you very much for watching this. If you found any value in it, do me a big favor. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe for more, ring that bell, and I'll see you in a couple days. Bye.